Hello again, my name's Dave Zollner. You know what's important is people need to know all the facts. When they don't have all the information, they tend to overreact and they tend to do things they wouldn't normally do, like rioting. And what do you think would happen if Eric Garner didn't resist arrest? Well, I gotta believe he'd still be with us today. Now, why do you think he resisted arrest? Probably because he didn't want to get arrested again, since he was out on bail for the exact same crime. That's probably why he resisted arrest. What did we learn? What should we have learned? Well, when a police officer says, "Put your hands behind your back," what you should say is, "Yes, sir," you comply. When you don't comply, you're going to be responsible for what happens to you. So who's responsible for what happened to Eric Garner? Well, none other than Eric Garner. You know, if you go Google around, you'll see that his wife said he wasn't resisting. Well, what was he doing? He was fighting off, what, 4 or 5 police officers? If he would have complied, they would have handcuffed him. They would have tried to put him into a squad car, which would have been interesting to see. And that would have been the end of it. They probably would have had to call a paddy wagon for him. But the point is, that would have been the end of it. When the police tell you to put your hands behind your back, again, "Yes, sir," that's what you say. You don't sit there and try to fight him because you're not going to win. And Eric Garner should have known that he's not going to win. But I guess the fear of being arrested for the same crime he was out on bond right now. He got out on bail for the same charge. It's pretty crazy, folks. The problem is not with the police. In this instance, the problem is with Eric Garner and people like Mayor Bill de Blasio, who's blaming what happened on Eric Garner onto the police. You know, I did another video, which I'm going to post, and I suggested that people should try to talk when you can't breathe. You can't talk when you can't breathe. And I'm making reference to what Eric Garner said when he said multiple times, "I can't breathe." If you can't breathe, you can't talk. And he just didn't like being in a position that he was in. I can't say I blame him. The police were piled on top of him. Why? Because he's 350 or 60 pounds. He could really inflict a whole lot of pain just with a swipe of his arm. But you see, the people that are rioting, they either don't know that he's been arrested, I don't know, 30 times. They don't know that he paid to get out on bail. And you know what? They don't care. All they want is an excuse to go riot. To them, it's a party. That's what that is. Yeah. People need to comply with the law. And if Eric Garner would have complied with what he was asked to do more than once, none of this would have happened. What did you want the police to do? Just say, "Okay, you can go home"? The guy broke the law. He had to be arrested. And they couldn't arrest him because of his massive size. And he was totally belligerent to the police. You saw him fighting as they're trying to pile on top of him. He just had to say, "I give." And he'd still be alive today. And you wouldn't have Bill de Blasio spending millions of New York's money on retraining police that don't need to be trained. You know who needs to be trained? Bill de Blasio, Eric H. Holder Jr., and that jackass in the White House, Barack Hussein Obama. That's who needs to be retrained. I told you what I think. So what do you think?